fuck does that mean? I don't know what Boxing Day is, Dieter. Someone's got to explain Boxing Day to me. I don't get it. I don't know. I mean, to me, shouldn't there be an unboxing day where I unbox Hot Toys figures that I haven't opened? Like, wouldn't that be the thing to do? Uh-oh. See, people are seeing behind the curtain because it's a little haphazard today. Sorry about that. Seeing behind the curtain there. Let's start the show. Greetings, imagination connoisseurs. Once again, it is I, your Duke of Dope Discourse, Robert Meyer Burnett. I invite you to watch and listen to the Designing Hollywood podcast, brought to you by Martika Ibarra and the great, legendary Hollywood costume designer, Marilyn Vance. I am afforded the wonderful opportunity of co-hosting the show. If you are interested in the magic of Hollywood, the design of Hollywood, the clothes of Hollywood, watch the Designing Hollywood podcast, available wherever you get your podcasts from, or find the video version on YouTube. That's right, the Designing Hollywood podcast. Why would you ever want to miss it, especially if you love the movies? Greetings, imagination connoisseurs. Once again,
Tango Shalom is now available
I'm still
on
screwing it up.
all
VOD major platforms. I think we messed that up.
Video on demand, or as they say in the trade, VOD.
VOD. Tango Shalom is now available on all VOD platforms.
Which means,
Video on demand.
look how you know. You must be a high school graduate.
I'm a college graduate.
Really?
Yes.
I got an honorary degree from Hofstra.
My-
Did you get an honorary degree?
No, I got a degree.
Oh, well, I got honorary. You know, I'm in the Jewish Museum.
What for?
What do you mean? As a famous Jew in
You
the
are?
Bronx. I'm in the famous...
I'm in the Prospect Park in the Stones.
How big is the stone?
Well, greetings, imagination connoisseurs. Welcome to Boxing Day 2021. What that is, I don't know. We don't celebrate that here in America, but we do celebrate physical media. And welcome to Let's Get Physical Media, episode 53. My God, and here, well, for me, you're going to hear about some of my favorites of the year. There was so much great physical media that came out this year. Who could pick just top 10? I don't know. You know who could pick top 10? Dieter Bastian, your favorite German, my favorite German, everyone's favorite German, all the way from Saarbrücken, Deutschland, is here today. Dieter Bastian, how's your Christmas? How are you?
Christmas was very nice, and here it is, your top 10 list of this year. But we'll have to wait a little bit, and I first say, greetings, imagination connoisseurs, Dieter here. Here I am, rock you like a hurricane, and welcome to the B&B Motel, where Let's Get Physical Media on still Christmas Day. Very special. So thank you for all the people who have nothing better to do on Christmas to watch our show.
Wait a minute, it's
see
Sunday.
what
It's the
the-
day
what
after.
the-
It's the day after
Yeah.
Christmas,
But it's still Christmas. Still Christmas.
I
Christmas
guess so.
spirit is still,
and you don't
is
have
still
to be
there.
afraid.
You know?
It's Christmas time.
Yeah.
I guess it's Christmas time, and you don't have to be afraid.
Exactly. And today we are really, I talked with Rob about it, we really want to focus on what are our favorite releases of this year. And as Rob said, it's not easy to pick out the titles that you would consider your favorite or top releases, because some of the titles I unfortunately didn't get around to watch, so they would have probably made it, but at some point you have to make the cut. Those are the 10, and I have some honorable mentions to go.
There's no rules,
Two.
buddy. I didn't make any rules.
There's no rules. No, we have no rules. So is there something else, Rob, some news you want to talk about? Or...
Well, I will just say I did get one thing this week. As
Okay.
you know, I had of course pre-ordered the 4K Citizen Kane from Criterion. One of the things I want to talk about this show is that Criterion dove into the 4K releases this year, and with things like Menace to Society and, of course, Mulholland Drive. And their 4Ks, Mulholland Drive is spectacular looking, but unfortunately, one of the things that 2021 brought us was many of even our favorite companies screwing up their releases. Warner Brothers with the sound debacle on Road Warrior, which was a grail disc for me. I think all of the companies in some ways were hit by or plagued with problems, but that's okay because, I'm willing to wait as long as people get things correct. But something I guess I totally forgot I ordered was this bad boy.
Nice.
This is the Citizen Kane box set released in the UK from Warner Brothers. Now, I don't know if our buddy George had anything to do with this, but, I had forgotten that I had ordered this, and it comes with that great, beautiful matte finish. I love this cover, and it is full of swag. I won't go through it all, but... Well, there is, but I just I never got mine, so... No, this is the one from Europe that had no problems. Yeah. I believe they are. Probably the same master, but I mean, beautiful booklet this comes with. It's great. And then, of course, it comes with the extra DVDs and Blu-rays and stuff. But then, one of these great, it's full of all kinds of swag. Really great stuff. And this transfer, dude, this transfer is so delicious. It makes me want to eat the disc. But I will refrain from doing so. Oh, no, it definitely, that's why I wanted to show it. It's definitely, I mean, obviously, it's funny because people always talk about, well, Citizen Kane's the best movie ever made. Every time I watch this movie, I'm reminded, yeah, it is. This movie is wildly entertaining. It just defines so much of what was later used. Certainly one of the great releases of the year. Unfortunately, Criterion, I'll buy that too. I already have it on pre-order. It's going to show up. But I had forgotten that I even ordered this. And I opened this package. I'm like, what is this? I open it up. I'm like, oh, I'm so happy to have these box sets that we've been getting from Europe. Just killing it out there. So Warner Brothers, thank you for this fantastic release. I am very glad to have it.
Yeah. And I want to mention just one movie that I watched this week, Rob. My friend, Scotty, I watched One Shot. And I can really recommend it, Rob, because One Shot is not really a good title for the movie. It's more what the movie, like the movie is. It is done as it would be a one shot. Of course, there is some editing, but it's done. It is one fluid shot through 90 minutes, and it's greatly done with a big body count. Really can recommend it, Rob. One Shot.
It's funny if you put a question mark after that title. It would sum up my college sex experience. Girls would say, "One shot?" Sorry, that's a terrible joke. Bad.
Really.
I got to hone the humor.
really big recommendation from my end. One Shot. So, I have some letters to read, Rob.
Somebody says your audio is somehow muted. But you sound
muted.
Good to me. Yeah, I don't know why.
Okay. Test 1 2 1 2.
Well, you sound good to me, but maybe not coming through.
I don't know. I can raise the volume a little.
I don't know.
If that does
maybe
something.
Oh, maybe it isn't. I don't know. I think you sound great. If anyone says anything, we'll figure it out.
I don't read anything in the live chat at the moment. Rob.
So you want to just go back and forth and talk about our favorite releases?
Yeah. But first I have 2 letters, Rob. I wanted to read.
2 letters.
Rob, you know what it was? It was probably when you showed the Citizen Kane and you were alone on the screen, and some people, always then I get muted.
It's true.
I'm back now. Okay. And those letters come in that important folder, Rob. Because the first one you didn't send me. It's from our friend David Kogel. You know, you got that nice mug that you showed on observations that you did get
I
from
might
me.
as well
Yes.
show it now. David Kokel sent me this mug with his actual artwork of a friend of his and Cthulhu put on a coffee cup. What a cool present. This is the best kind of presents to get when people make you cool
Awesome.
shit.
Awesome. And he wrote to us, Rob, and he said, for whenever your next show airs, which is now, David, okay? Merry Christmas, David. Rob and Dieter, as 2021 draws to a close, I wanted to thank you for each episode of Let's Get Physical Media you have gifted to us. With so much pain and frustration in the world, it's nice to have a weekly diversion such as your show. When we tune in, what will we get? Will Rob unveil a special edition with 70s Bush? Will Dieter make a painted chap at Free Enterprise? A movie I like, by the way, even though Dieter's witty remarks make me laugh. Rob, I read your articles in Sci-Fi Universe 25 years ago, unaware that one day I'd be watching your films and seeing you on my screen on an almost daily basis.
Wow.
And Dieter, only a little more than a year ago, I didn't know who you were. And now we send each other mail across a giant ocean between two continents. Just like science fiction, we cannot always predict the future accurately, but I am thankful for where we are, where we have been, and hopefully where we will be. And I hope Let's Get Physical Media will continue to be a part of that journey. Live long and Robcast, David Kogel.
What a nice letter. Thank you for
What a
that,
nice
David.
letter.
And again, thank you for the great mug and the pictures that you sent. Very much appreciated.
And Rob, somebody gave me that letter on Christmas, which was really nice because my niece, Sabrina, rocking her Let's Get Physical Media merch here, did get me a letter so I can read her letter on the show. This was one of her presents for her to me.
Wow, she's pretty hot.
And she says, and probably she should do the show, Rob, because of that part, and she probably talks way better English than myself.
Yeah, but I
So-
think if you spoke better English, this show wouldn't be nearly as fun as it is.
Exactly. So, and she writes, Dear Godfather of Movies, this is a poem I wrote for you. If you want, you can, of course, share it in your weekly Sunday night show, Let's Get Physical Media. The real Godfather of Movies. Which kind of movie do you want to see? Something dark and exciting? Something romantic? Full of glee? I bet my Godfather has something for you. He owns more physical media than the biggest video libraries do. He owns an enormous film exhibition. Lending terribly scary films to me is a cruel tradition. Midsummer, Us, and the rest I don't remember. This must be self-preservation. Of all the people I know, my Godfather is physical media's truest defender. No matter which films big streaming platforms show, he might watch them there, but that's not enough, no. His biggest obsession is his collection. He puts away Jennifer Lawrence films with a special affection. Tons of films still wait to be seen. That's right, Sabrina. On special editions, he's especially keen. The Hunger Games, Marvel, DC, weird Asian stuff, and one or the other independent, widely unknown movie make his heart beat faster. That we haven't seen J-Law in Berlin still is an enormous disaster. Now, what can we do, Sabrina? We were there, but we didn't get lucky, okay? Dear Godfather of Movies, thanks for introducing me to the shiny world of cinematography. I hope that physical media will forever exist so that you can continue collecting with bliss. May there be lots of Schnäppchen next year, good ones that make you shed a tear of happiness, of course. And I hope that thousands of new viewers appear, people that share your fascination for the movie world and physical media glorification. May Rob make Saarbrücken, Deutschland to the most famous location. Live long and prosper for a Vulcanian duration. Merry Christmas. I love you 3000. Your goddaughter, Sabrina. Sabrina, see you tomorrow when we go to the theaters watching Spider-Man No Way Home.
What a lovely
It goes
poem
to-
that was. That
Yeah.
was quite
From my-
clever.
Niece, Sabrina. So, Rob, as you said, I would say we go back and forth, but I could start with my honorable mentions first before I get into the top 10, if you
Yeah,
want.
but we should trade off like ping pong, one each.
Okay.
Keep it
The
going.
first one, sometimes, Rob, I'm just happy that the movie gets even a release on Blu-ray. So for me, this was really an honorable mention that this movie came out. Drive with Mark Dacascos and Kadeem Hardison, one of my favorite action movies from, I think, the 90s, was only available on DVD. It's nice that it got a Blu-ray release. This is my first honorable mention. Drive.
Well, I don't really have honorable mentions. I just picked a stack of stuff I love. Even though this is something I just got, I also want to give a shout out to certain companies. Once again, Warner Archive has been killing it. It's great to have the great George Feltenstein back at Warner Archive. There's a couple of titles on my list. One came out this week, Ivanhoe. This is a great, great, great bit of classic Hollywood cinema, and this disc is stunning. And you know, while not everything that Warner Archive puts out is stuff that I'm interested in, they're eclectic releases, and the care that they put in, and you got to give it up for their bit rates. Their stuff looks fantastic. So kudos to Warner Archive for putting out things like Ivanhoe. Great company. Thank you, George. And thanks to George Feltenstein for coming on this show a number of times. So it's great to have him.
Awesome. So Ivanhoe, your first official title. The next one on my honorable mention, as you can see here, my Wretched Media book. You can see it on the back. It is signed by the two directors. Only out in 4K in Germany, you know. Isn't it nice to see it? You know, the Wretched, a.k.a. The Witch Next Door. But since I can't show it, I have to go with another honorable mention. And I thought I pick out a video game because I had really fun with it. Was a great special edition. Honorable mention, Guardians of the Galaxy, the game which really was nice. Had a great time with it. So for me, honorable mention, Guardians of the Galaxy as one of my favorite releases of this year.
I couldn't speak to that because young Sophie took it for her PlayStation 5, and I haven't seen it since. Yep. When it came in.
Should be good. Should be a good thing.
One of my favorite box sets that came out, I have a beautiful DVD box set of this, but I had to replace it. The box set of Neon Genesis Evangelion. This is, of course, one of the seminal Japanese mecha animated series, and this is a beautiful box set that has both the classic versions of the series, and it also has the new dub of the series in Blu-ray. This is one of the greatest Japanese animated series, at least as far as I'm concerned, ever. And also with 3.10, the fourth movie that came out this year, Evangelion was having a great year. This is the definitive box set of the show. And it's funny because I look at this and I think to myself, well, I'll never, ever, ever have to buy this ever again. I've got the definitive version. So even if it came out on 4K, I'm like...
That's all we want, Rob.
That's all we want. I know.
Version.
Very happy. Something. Very happy to have this. If you like the show, or if you're an anime collector or an animation collector, this is an essential purchase. But that's just me. Your mileage may vary.
Yeah, exactly. My next honorable mention, of course, has to be, I showed it, I think, 2 or 3 weeks ago. Even if it came with a hefty price tag, is, of course, the KISS 45th anniversary of the Destroyer album. I don't put the stuff out anymore. If you want to see it, you can go back to one of our shows. I believe it was 2 or 3 weeks ago. But this is an honorable mention for every KISS fan. It is expensive, but it's worth the money. KISS Destroyer 45th anniversary edition as an honorable mention.
Well, for me, one of the great companies, one of the great boutique companies is of course, Arrow. And one of my favorite releases of the year is their version of True Romance, the box set of True Romance that came out. I will say this, though. I am upset with Arrow. Even they were not beyond problems. Apparently, they were purchased by Zavvi. They switched over their servers, and the Diamond Gin box set that, boy, I really wanted. This trilogy box set, which I have yet to get, and I also didn't get my 4Ks of The Bird with Crystal Plumage and The Cat o' Nine Tails because I paid for them, but they shifted over their server or something, and those box sets are like sold out, and I've sent them messages, and I've never heard anything back from them. And I love Arrow. I love your releases, Arrow. This is one of my favorites of the year. This True Romance 4K set, beautiful set. They even commissioned this cool new artwork, which I like. But, you can't do that to your customers. I mean, just saying.
Okay. The next one is actually nothing special when it comes to the package, the swag. It's just a standard MRA. And we are seldomly getting a movie that is already out in 4K as a new 4K. But I thought it made it special, and it was really sometimes tough to get. Batman vs. Superman, the Ultimate Edition with the IMAX scenes. So this was for me a quite nice surprise to that it was getting a release, and it was really tough to get. So Batman vs. Superman.
It's an incredible disc.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
It's nothing special considering the packaging, the extras, but for me, honorable mention, one of the top releases this year, Batman vs. Superman Ultimate Edition with the IMAX scenes.
Well, for
and
me,
the new color grading, I think.
Criterion, obviously, a lot of Criterion discs on the list. One of my favorites, and I thought, Paramount released this on DVD. This is another Grail title for me to get in HD. Is Alan Pakula's The Parallax View, starring Warren Beatty. For anybody this is my favorite 70s paranoid conspiracy thriller. This is an incredible movie, and basically the entirety of the X-Files was inspired by this movie. And I'm so happy to have it. This is a beautiful transfer. I love this movie. It starts in my hometown of Seattle on the Space Needle, which is great. And
great starting point for any movie.
This is one of the movies I wondered, like, why hadn't Paramount put this out? It's kind of a movie that not a lot of people know, but if you're a fan of the X-Files, you will love this movie. There are no aliens or anything like that in it, but in terms of government conspiracies, this movie's great. And I'm happy to have it. And thank you, Criterion, because this is a pretty populist mainstream movie. And, sometimes you think, okay, well, who knows if they'll ever release that? But they did. And it's a great package from Criterion. So thank you, Criterion, for releasing it.
Putting out. The last honorable mention, I cheat a little bit, Rob, because it came out just around the corner of last year from 2020 to 2021.
Cheater.
But I only got it in 2021. I watched it, and it's like Drive, one movie that I thought would probably never see the light of day as a Blu-ray. Fire in the Sky as an honorable mention. The release date was December 30th last year. So I cheat a little bit, but for me, honorable mention because I thought Fire in the Sky will probably never get a release, but here we are.
Dude,
Fire in the Sky.
That movie has one of the scariest scenes in any movie ever.
Don't remember me. I was on the edge of my seat when I watched the movie for the first time as a VHS tape.
Dude, I couldn't believe I saw it in the theater, man. And that the alien, when Travis Walton's taken up into the alien ship and probed.
When Marvel did the honey,
dude, it's so good.
Starts so good. Still holds up, Rob. That we have to say. Still holds up the scene.
Yeah, another boutique company that gets mad props from me, and you'll see other things from them this year, is Severin. Severin Films has been killing it. One of my favorites, Alejandro Jodorowsky's Santa Sangre. I love this movie, and I actually had another version of it on Blu-ray before, but this is 4K. Again, I never thought I would see Santa Sangre come out in 4K, but these boutique companies are killing it, and this disc is beautiful. It looks so great. There's so many extras, so many interesting documentaries and things on this. This is a highly recommended release. It's a very strange but beautiful movie. Now, something I want to give some shouts out to Severin, packages that I don't have from them yet, but I plan on getting them. One of the first is their Eurocrypt of Christopher Lee collection. Really want to get this. I do not have it yet. Also, something I'm very interested in that I also don't have, but it's available from like Diabolic DVD, is their All the Haunts Are Ours. Their folk horror movies. Looks like an incredible set. Something I don't yet own, and I cannot wait to pick this up. So, mad props to Severin for putting out this incredible film, and what a great package. And it's funny, these boutique labels are really stepping it up in terms of their extras.
Yeah.
They're producing some great bonus material. Their packaging is incredible. So we truly are living through a golden age of physical media now. And there's a lot more obscure things. People are looking out for things to put out, and some great stuff.
Exactly, Rob. Exactly. So after the honorable mention, here we go. Top 10.
Dieter's top 10.
Number 10. Not special in terms of packaging, just a Steelbook, but one important movie of this year that we, not only that we did get it, but it was even released on Blu-ray. The only thing that's missing is, of course, Bobby's documentary about Zack Snyder's road to Justice League, of course. So one of the top releases this year is Zack Snyder's Justice League. Just how important the movie is that we did get the movie at all, and on physical media. So for me, one of number 10.
That release. Disc is beautiful too. It is a phenomenal disc, and we got that. You got that for me. I think you got. Did I order it? Did you get it for me?
I think Emma did get it.
That's right. The lovely Emma Bannon. By the way, I've got my UK connection. Shout out, mad props to Emma Bannon, the lovely Emma Bannon, for hooking me up with some great titles. And that was that's right. Emma got that for me, and that disc is great. And thank God it got a domestic release. Even though it wasn't part of Studio Canal's. They made it look like a Studio Canal release. So mad props for the 4K version of John Carpenter's The Thing. And this release, it fits along with my other 4 box sets of John Carpenter's movies. That Studio Canal release, they made this look. I think this just came from Universal. But the fact that they would never do this in the United States.
No.
The fact that they made this fit in with
the other 4
was, I thought, inspired. So again, it comes with the soundtrack. This is another great release. The transfer of this movie, dude, it looks incredible. I love it. Definitely one of my favorite releases of the year
of 2021. Exactly. Number 9, a movie.
Number 9.
That was number 9, exactly. That was surprising to me that this movie got this kind of a special edition. It was a kind of special edition that I thought I have to get Rob one too, because it's a good movie, but it's not a blockbuster movie, so it's not a typical movie that I would expect to get this kind of release. The Korean version of Dark Waters. This Mark Ruffalo is one of my top releases of this year, considering it came with the Steelbook inside and a booklet, and it's not, the typical big blockbuster movie.
Right.
So that kind of little independent movie gets that kind of a release, but not independent. It was from 20th Century Fox, I believe. But just that this movie gets some kind of this kind of release was great for me. And this is only in Korea you can get this movie in this version. And I bought Rob one too with another cover. So
great.
Water, for me, number 9 top releases 2021.
This was for me an early release, and it is rather controversial. because the filmmaker made some changes to the transfers and the movies themselves. But one of my favorite releases of the year is The World of Wong Kar-wai. One of my favorite modern directors. Criterion created one of their most beautiful box sets. The films are they're all still great. If you don't know Wong Kar-wai, I mean, I'm a huge, huge fan of his. And this box set is incredible. And I love having all the films together. There's a lot of there's documentaries and commentaries, and there's all kinds of things on here that, this was one of the earlier releases. I think this came out in March of this past year, but my God, is it incredible. This is just incredible. An incredible set to have. I'm so excited to have this. And they did, again, Criterion did a great job.
Yeah, totally. Number 8, something more usual, but the transfers were great. And I think I had to put it on, of course, Indiana Jones.
Okay, well,
Box.
I too have that on my list, and this came out in June. You know, the set. It's
Rob
amazing.
has it's nice. Rob has the Steelbooks. I have more the Digipack versions.
Yeah,
But for me, as for Rob, one of the top releases of 2021.
but I have to say, Paramount, the Indiana Jones movies in this flimsy plastic.
yeah,
I mean,
know, Rob.
although I will say this,
Yeah.
I do have all of my. I always put my Steelbooks.
yeah.
I always have my
They
Steelbooks
fit in
their
in it
covers.
with the sleeve, Rob.
Yeah,
They fit in it
yeah.
with
With
the sleeve. Oh,
with
right.
my Steelbook covers, they even fit in here. I mean, it's a little bit blown out, but still, these transfers are spectacular.
Yeah.
And
That's
yeah,
why, for me, number 8,
yeah, for sure, totally.
Indiana Jones. Box.
Let's see, what do I got next? One of the first, I'm going to put this up. The Scream Factory, another company that obviously I have great affection for. I've worked for them on Hills Run Red. The Dead Zone. Cronenberg's The Dead Zone is one of my favorite releases from them. Again, a Paramount title that they licensed out to someone else. And David Cronenberg's one of my favorite directors, so this is a really, really good package. The transfer is beautiful. So great to have that from Scream Factory. Thanks, fellows, ladies and gents.
Awesome. Number 7. Rob has the same one. I don't know if he has it on his list, but of course it has been released over the years multiple times. Of course, the Battle Royale
Yeah.
box.
You know, it's funny.
From-
Now that you're showing that to me, I'm like, oh, I forgot that.
So people, we don't know what the other will show. So this is
Right.
not you show this, I show that. You know, nobody of us even knows what the other one has on his list.
No,
I
that-
have the Battle Royale box on place number 7.
Again, shout
That's
out to
wonderful.
Arrow for that. That is, again, even though Battle Royale 2 Requiem's terrible, it's great to have all that stuff
Yeah,
there.
exactly. In one set.
Yeah, and now I have to say that you know, another favorite company of mine is Imprint from Australia, and they have just announced one of my most eagerly sought after 50 sci-fi films. They previously released War of the Worlds and When Worlds Collide, and one of my favorites, part of that, I think it is the George Powell trilogy. Even though I would add Destination Moon. Conquest of Space is coming out from them. It's not out yet. But they did put out the definitive box set of Space 1999. Now, this is... it has the previously released transfers on Blu-ray, but they also included the compilation movies that they made from certain episodes, like Destination Moonbase Alpha, which was not included in previous box sets. And I love that it's got the orange of the Alpha spacesuits. But again, another fantastic box set from Imprint, and they continue to release a lot of interesting films. Usually when they put something out, it's the first time we've seen it. Criterion released War of the Worlds after Imprint's version of War of the Worlds came out, but they're great, and they've got great service, even though they're shipping from Australia, so kudos to them.
Awesome. How many Eagle transporters you have?
How many Eagle transporters do I have? Well, you know what? I don't know. To be honest, I don't know, but I can show you. Let's see. If you would like to see, if people want to see, this is. I will show you. Here's an earlier photo. Here's my Eagle shelf, my Space 1999 shelf, and there's a lot there, and many scales. There's a 23-inch Eagle, and there's the 12-inch Eagles, and I pretty much have. I think I've got like, I don't know. There's like 10 in that picture, but of course I have models of Eagles that are unbuilt, and I have more on the way. So Elizabeth says, "Why do you buy these? They look like bugs." She just doesn't get it, and that's no slight on her. So
you probably have the biggest fleet of them all.
I'm sure people have more. And by the way, speaking of that, I did get from the same company.
Yeah.
I did get a action figure. Their new releases of Commander John Koenig, the special release. This is a 1/12 scale figure, but it's really, really, really good. It's a great figure, and they got more coming out. So I'm very excited about that. Very excited about that.
Yeah. On my end, number 6, because like I said before at the beginning of the show, I mostly pick titles that I really have seen. There's a lot of stuff that I haven't watched, which would have probably made the list. But this movie was really my jam. I totally dug it. The live action version from Korea, from Shinro, the anime, was Ilang, the Wolf Brigade, which came out in Korea. The movie is a little bit older, but it came out this year, the release. And I totally was...
love that movie. I love the anime, too.
The film blew me away. You know, we have the cards in it, a little bit of a booklet. So since the movie really was awesome, for me, it's one of the releases of the year. Ilang, Wolf Brigade from Korea.
Nice.
That's
Very
number
nice.
6.
One of the things I've liked, since I'm not grouping these in any kind of order, Paramount has gone back into their catalog and have been transferring movies out that haven't been available. They're 4K masters, but they haven't been available. And now I'm looking for one that I just had in my hand. But they've put out things like I got the French version, but to have Ragtime, Milos Forman's Ragtime, Red's Mommy Dearest, Cameron Crowe's Vanilla Sky. They're doing their Fatal Attraction disc. They've been doing this for the last couple of years, but these releases from Paramount are really great. They look fantastic. I'm really happy to have. I mean, this is a film I've wanted on Blu-ray for a decade, and they finally put it out. This is a wonderful, wonderful movie. Yeah. So, again, you know, Paramount, why they license their movies out, maybe they don't own them anymore. I don't understand why.
Okay.
Like, I'm happy that Criterion put out the Parallax View, but I'm like, what, Paramount, you don't care about your catalog? But that's fine. I'll take the Criterion version, but I will give it up. You know, Paramount at one time put out phenomenal films. I mean, something that people are going to be like, they're going to wonder why I didn't grab Star Trek because, you know, Star Trek was released on 4K, but as a digital-only release, not this year. So Star Trek 2 was, but next year, Star Trek the Motion Picture, the 4K Director's Edition remaster is obviously my most eagerly awaited disc of next year. They better do a fucking good job, because don't fuck it up. We'll see. But I love what they're doing.
For you.
I love what they're doing with these titles.
Exactly. Number 5, which was a little bit of a topic here over the last shows. Rob has it too, because it was just a blast, and considering that movie gets such a special edition treatment, it's just great for me. So my number 5, Rob, is Robotrix. Of course.
Dude. Well, as you know,
we have to mention it again.
You gotta throw this out.
Nice booklet, a big booklet, You know?
Again, this is from 88 films, the UK's 88
exactly.
films. Again, the fact that this movie got this treatment
Exactly, Rob.
is
Category
insane.
3 stuff.
It's
Category 3.
insane. I mean, category 3, the sex, the violence,
Yeah.
the robots. Come on.
They even put out Story of Ricky O, but Story of Ricky O gotten a lot of releases over the years, so it's not that special. But this one is more special. So number 5, Robot Tricks from my end. From 88 films from the UK.
Now, here's something that made my list, but it's a bootleg, so I don't even know if I should feel bad about including it, but I don't. This comes from Hong Kong.
When do you ever, Rob?
Hong Kong Rescue. John Woo's seminal The Killer, starring Chow Yun-fat. Hong Kong Rescue is a company that's been doing the Lord's work. It's basically one guy restoring and digitally fixing these movies to make them look the best they can be. He includes every version. There's a version on here I've never even seen before. The soundtracks are great. He does so much work. It might take you a year to get them. It takes a while for him to send out the discs.
The actual status at the moment with Hong Kong Rescue, does he still does the stuff?
Well, I believe that he actually finally got an actual license to do John Woo's Bullet in the Head, which is, I love Bullet in the Head. And so I think he did. Like, I'm not really sure. But he'd done Hard Boiled previously to this. He's done a lot of the Jackie Chan movies, almost all of them earlier. He's doing a great job. And it's like just one dude in the house. But this is a great, great, great release. And I waited long enough for it, but it was definitely worth the wait. I've owned this in so many iterations.
Wasn't back in the day in the DVD days The Killer not out from Criterion Collection? They had some.
It was Criterion.
Out.
The Criterion had released beautiful versions on Laserdisc of
From
The Killer and Hard Boiled, and then they were out on DVD, which I
but
have.
But they don't have the rights to do those movies anymore.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think they lost them. But so, sue me for putting a bootleg on the list. But, that's how I roll.
Yeah. You don't care. You just don't care.
I don't care.
Number 4 on my list. I have the extra drawing already here behind me because no other series this year or movie has probably sold more merch than, of course, Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer, my Japanese edition with the Mugen Train, with the movie and extras, unfortunately in Japanese, But for me, this was really a nice release to have put something in the top 10, which comes, of course, from Japan. Had to be Demon Slayer. And Rob, I have to Google it. I don't know how insane the money they made with the series, considering merch. It's in the billions, considering
it's true.
Slayer. Did you ever get around to check it out, Rob?
I have seen none of that.
Because I think it's now on Netflix too, the show, I believe. If you want to give it a quick look, Rob, Demon Slayer.
I'll have to check it out, man. I mean, what's not to love?
Hot's on the list for anime lovers. Demon Slayer, my number 4 from Japan.
Well, one of my favorite movies of all time landed on 4K this year. Stanley Kubrick's A Clockwork Orange. Again, this is the British 4K special edition, filled with swag, but the transfer on this movie is fantastic. Again, so great that Warner Brothers has gone back in and they've done The Shining, they've done Full Metal Jacket, they've done this. And I'm hoping, beyond all hope, please do Barry Lyndon next. Please do Barry Lyndon. It's great to have the Kubrick films. I'm a huge Kubrick aficionado, one of my favorite directors of all time, if not my favorite director. And to get I think I have 4 different versions of this. So, because you can never have too many, Dieter, but have Clockwork Orange on Blu-ray.
Actually from one of your favorite movies, Rob.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite movies.
And it's not our fault, Rob. They put out different variations of it,
Because they knew we were going to buy them all.
Yeah.
They're like Pokemon.
If they would just put out the standard MRA, we would be fine with one, but
I know.
We just can't.
I know. What are you going to do?
Number 3, and I'm really lucky that Rob and I only have, at that point of our showings, only 2 that matches. Rob showed it already, but for me, it's number 3 on my list, which is, of course, True Romance.
And you got the other cover than I. Yeah, no, you got both covers.
I've got both,
You crazy
So for
fucker.
me, considering finally to get the movie in a fine transfer, that is always a great thing to have.
Yeah, the transfer of
Since we
True
are
Romance
waiting.
was terrible. The True Romance transfer was really bad on
And
Blu-ray.
it's always nice to get something finally in a worthy edition. True Romance for me, number 3 on my list.
Well, David Kokel, speaking of Bush, the 4K of Basic Instinct. This was a long sought-after title for me. This movie has always looked shitty on home video because Jan de Bont shot it, and the way he shot it, and the filtering and all that, it always looked bad. And after seeing what they did with Die Hard, which the 4K of Die Hard is the definitive version of this film. Again, this is put out by Studio Canal, another one of their great box sets. And this came out also as a Steelbook, which I, of course, had to get. Now, the transfer of this film, I have to say,
You're not really satisfied with it.
there's a little, they tealed it up. They blew and tealed it up for me. Now, a lot of it looks phenomenal, but some of it looks a little too blue and teal. Like, I really wish that they had involved Jan de Bont in the transfer of this film. I think a lot of the time they have, they have these young whippersnappers. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, it still looks better than it's ever looked on home video, but I do think the colors are not entirely representative of how the film originally looked when it came out in the early 90s. But I'm happy to have it. And of course, David, Sharon Stone's impeccably trimmed bush in this film is a marvel to behold still. And, I'd date her. She might kill me with an ice pick, but, it might be worth it. Especially, as I once said in the movie, if you get killed to the strains of a Jerry Goldsmith score. As long as the ice pick went right through my brain fast, I wouldn't know anyway. So it's great to have this in 4K. Fantastic.
Since Elizabeth is in the live chat, so Elizabeth, you know what to do. He's giving you your marching orders.
I don't want her to kill me. She wouldn't do that because the
she
blood in
knows
the
how-
sheets
how-
would piss.
at least-
She'd be like, I'm not
At
going to do
least
that.
you would like to go out.
Yeah, just as long as it's fast. But she wouldn't do that in bed because there would be blood on the sheets and that would piss her off.
Yeah, probably.
She might do it in the
Number
kitchen,
2.
though.
Okay.
You never know.
Number 2, when I put out the top 10, you always have probably the top 10 is already in your mind, and 9. So the ones in the middle you switch around that and that. But 2 and 1 for me, I didn't have to think twice about them. So number 2 for me this year was from Second Sight, the release of The Guest with the new 4K transfer, with new special features. I showed it on the show.
Again,
So this will be-
another boutique company. Second Sight has been killing it with their releases. I picked up The Strangers. And then last year, of course, one of my favorite special editions, not just of last year, but of all time, was their Dawn of the Dead box set. And hopefully they're going to put out Martin this year or next year in 2022. But that's I got to pick that up. That's a great.
Yeah.
Second
That for me
Sight does a really
was-
great job.
Yeah, that was for me, Rob. No question. Number 2, The Guest.
Well, I got to give it up for... this is surprising. This is a recent release from Kino Lorber. Philip Kaufman's Invasion of the Body Snatchers in 4K. One of my favorite science fiction films. This is both a great science fiction movie. It's a great 70s paranoia conspiracy thriller. It's a great alien invasion movie. But this transfer, bruh, they did such a great job transferring this film. I want to see more from Kino Lorber like this. Their Hannibal transfer was incredible in 4K. This is amazing. And they're doing more. They put out Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. They have other 4K transfers coming. I never thought I would see this so quickly in 4K, but my God, is this film incredible. If you've never seen this movie, do yourself a favor, watch this film. This is one of the, to me, the beginning of the 3 great genre remakes. Invasion of the Body Snatchers, John Carpenter's The Thing, and David Cronenberg's 1986 The Fly. Updating the 50s films. Boy, what a transfer this is. So thank you, Kino Lorber. Nicely done.
Nicely done. So Only to Live and Die in L.A. has to follow.
That's why I'm so excited. I mean, and for those of you who don't know, Kino Lorber is releasing To Live and Die in L.A. on 4K.
But we still don't have a release date yet, Rob.
No.
We don't have a release.
No.
Okay.
No.
Number 1. Top release 2021. As people considering me the trash panda, I have to follow suit with my number 1. Because that this movie even exists and came out. And that one of the companies, I really got to learn about them through our show. There was no question. Number 1 top release of this year is Vinegar Syndrome's New York Ninja. To put this film somehow back together from some film reels, instead of throwing it away and then giving the movie this kind of a treatment, this for me was no question about it. New York Ninja is the top 10 release of 2021, a movie that shouldn't even exist.
Well, they didn't even have the soundtracks to it.
No, they just had some film reels. Kurt had to go in, see what he can do, put in some 80s soundtrack with it, do some dubbing voiceover, not matching the mouth, trash in the best kind of way. New York Ninja for me. I didn't have to think twice. This was top release of 2021. And a shout out, of course, to Vinegar Syndrome for putting that that stuff out in that kind of package. Unbelievable.
Well, Vinegar Syndrome gets they will always be one of my very favorite boutique home video labels for putting out both Liquid Sky, which in an unbelievable, I never thought I would ever see Liquid Sky in high def. I didn't even know the negative was still available. And then, of course, they followed that up with the release of the great Australian exploitation movie Body Melt, which was the first movie, one of the first movies I ever showed to Elizabeth. I mean, I'd never seen it. I had a terrible DVD that was a rip of the VHS. It was awful. And not soon after did Vinegar Syndrome follow up with a great, even the cover it's a great die-cut cover of Body Melt. Vinegar Syndrome is definitely one of the MVPs. They put out the Beastmaster. They have, awesome. I believe they already put it out, the Christopher Lambert movie Resurrection that Russell Mulcahy directed.
Yes, correct, Rob.
Now, the disc that I don't have yet that I think you showed, did you show Flesh for Frankenstein?
Yes, I showed it last week, but I didn't get around.
Hang on, I didn't mean to. I just cut you off. I just want to say I have yet to buy Flesh for Frankenstein. I went to buy it and it was gone, but I'm told that they're going to have more after January. An incredible release, and something that I think that I wanted to show just quickly. So to me, there were 2 movies that Andy Warhol, was producing or whatever, and Flesh for Frankenstein was, of course, one of them, and it has one of my favorite lines of dialogue in any movie, which is, "To know life, you must first fuck death through the gallbladder." And that was one. And then also
a little bit more with your Udo Kier impression.
I know. To know life,
it was great.
You must first fuck death through the gallbladder.
Yeah.
And then also, but Severin did release this as well. And this is Blood for Dracula. It was the flip side. So Andy Warhol did Blood for Dracula and Flesh for Frankenstein. Severin put this out. Again, another great package. Who would have thunk, dude, that we would have got both of these movies in 4K in a year? I certainly didn't. I have just a few more. I did want to.
The floor is yours, Rob. I'm finished. The floor is yours.
Well, I just want to show like 2 more. Again, we talked about it, but Criterion jumping into the fray with 4K. This Mulholland Drive transfer is incredible. And again, not to be outdone, Criterion put this out, and I love especially the first one, the Once Upon a Time in China films, all 5 Once Upon a Time in China movies in a beautiful box set from Criterion. Yeah. Beautiful editions, really great having these, and very excited. And you know what? One of my all-time favorite films, this is the last one I'll show, one of my all-time favorite films ever came out, and it's I love the version. They put out the extended. There's 2 versions of this movie. There's the theatrical, and there's the untitled version. To have them in 4K, Almost Famous. Great box set. Came out in a Steelbook as well.
I actually was waiting for it.
Almost Famous, one of my favorite movies of all time. I totally identify with this. I love this movie so much, and to have this beautiful version of it in 4K is fantastic. Yes. And the last thing that I have to show is, of course, it's always a good year when a movie you've worked on comes out in physical media. And even though it's not in 4K, Tango Shalom is available on disc. No special features. Maybe I'll get a 4K version of it out at some point.
As bare bones as it gets.
It's as bare bones as it gets, but it's out. And I would say, if you go and you delve into, like, if you look at, if you go up and look at Sight and Sound, the British publication Sight and Sound, you go to their website and look at the physical media releases of the year. They've all got all their critics have great lists, but it's very apparent we are living still, as physical media might be dying on the vine, so to speak, in terms of sales. There are more boutique companies, more studios digging into their vaults. We are getting some incredible releases. I mean, who would have thought between Robotrix and New York Ninja, who would have thought that these things would be where we're at? So yeah, I'm pretty optimistic about the state of physical media right now. I mean, I know that it's not going to be around forever, but the PlayStation 5 and at least the Xbox X has made sure we'll have players for the foreseeable future. So I think that's great. It's incredible. And the studios and the boutique companies, especially, whether it's Shout, whether it's Imprint, whether it's Criterion, whether it's Indicator, whether it's Vinegar Syndrome and 88 Films and Second Sight, they've all done such a phenomenal job of making sure we're getting terrific stuff.
Exactly. And I will put my list in the comments later after the show, so you can fight me on it or agree with me. But it's great that Rob and I only had two titles that we both had on our top releases of 2021.
Yeah, I mean, and I will say, obviously, my going into 2022, there's a lot of great stuff scheduled. Obviously, To Live and Die in LA in 4K is at the top of that list, and so is, I don't know if the Star Trek The Motion Picture Director's Edition will hit 4K this year. I suspect it will. I think they're airing it on Paramount Plus in February. I'm not sure, though. But there's a lot of good stuff coming out, a lot of 4K discs. I mean, I think that's what we're going to see a lot more of. So that's pretty great. We got a few super chats.
Yeah.
200-Watt Studio says, Merry Christmas, guys. By the way, Orson Welles is from Kenosha, Wisconsin. Also, I was accepted into the Tuna Train.
Oh,
congratulations
good on you.
On getting on the Tuna Train. Congratulations to you. The first thing I ordered Mando seasons 1 and 2, and they arrived in 2 days. Those folks at the Tuna Train know what's up. And if you don't know what Tuna Train is, it's like the Matrix. No one can tell you what it is. You have to see it for yourself. 200-Watt Studio also sends in another super chat that says, I had it on VHS back in the day, but 2 weeks ago I ordered Robotrix, and it arrived this week. Bodacious. I like the transfer of the thing, but the sound mix, ugh. Well, You can't have everything, I guess. Jedi Chris sends in a super chat and asks, what are the best websites to get cool steelbooks from? I've only discovered Zavi, and I'm in love with the Mondo Marvel steelbooks. I went in the rabbit hole yesterday, laugh out loud. By the way, I'm a newbie collector. Well,
there is not a special site for steelbooks in general, every online retailer has some sort of steelbooks that they are selling. So I don't know if there's one special site that only would sell steelbooks. But you can get special steelbooks, considering, Rob, in America with Best Buy, that sometimes they have a special cover like the Mondo stuff. But I don't think there's one special online retailer that only would sell steelbooks.
By the way, Lisa Roberts in the chat says, I need to get Year of the Dragon on Blu-ray. That's another great Warner Archive title.
Imprint. Isn't it from Imprint in Australia?
They put it out too, but I think Warner Archive as well put it out, because they had put out the VHS. And I think, but yes, Imprint put that out. I'm a huge Year of the Dragon fan. I love that movie. And Charlie the Unicorn says, Best Buy has a ton of steelbooks. It's true. I think, in terms of steelbooks, there's all kinds of, like, I got the Wolf of Wall Street steelbook the other day.
Yeah.
I wasn't a big steelbook collector, but
your Rambo box is one of the finest.
The Rambo box, I had to get that. The Lord of the Rings, if it's special, But I don't know. I kind of like having steelbooks. I mean, if you go down that rabbit hole, there's a lot to collect.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of steelbooks out there.
Depends on the motive. What kind of motive is on the steelbook? Black Widow had that great motive on the steelbook.
Yeah, I have all the Marvel titles. I just ordered Eternals, the Eternals steelbook, just because I have to have them all. But I think that steelbooks, to me, if it's some kind of a prestige title, it's cool to have them as a steelbook or a favorite movie. I did forget something. I forgot this. I forgot the Columbia
box set.
The Columbia box set. Kudos to Columbia for this is the second box set. These box sets are incredible. I love having this. I mean,
Rob, we forget stuff that we think is a given. It's given,
it's true. And I just think about like The Social Network and Taxi Driver and Stripes. I mean, and these box sets are great. They do such a great job with these box sets, and these are really great sets. I don't know if they're going to do a third one. I would imagine they are.
But probably comes. It depends on the selling point of the second one.
Yeah, the first one sold out. I mean, and the second one hopefully. But that's great to get those.
Didn't they release the titles separately later?
I don't know if they released all of them. Can you get Lawrence of Arabia separately?
Was available separately.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Okay.
They might have. I don't know if they've done all of that. So Jedi Chris, if you go down that steelbook rabbit hole, there's a lot. I mean, I have certain favorite steelbooks. Like I have from Japan, Cliffy Boy, our favorite Geek Santa, Cliff Stevenson, did get me like the All You Need Is Kill steelbook, which is Edge of Tomorrow, Tom Cruise and Emily Blunt. They went by the original manga title in Japan, so it's cool to have the steelbook for All You Need Is Kill. I love stuff like that. Or movies I've worked on or something to have the steelbooks. 200 Watt Studios says, Wong Kar Wai, how about Wong Kar Where? Ha, 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 ha. I see what you did there. Jedi Chris says, also, what are the best...
Are you sure this was from 200 Watt Studio, not from Emma?
No, oh, man.
That's
a joke worthy of Emma. Or unworthy, depending on how you want to look at it. Jedi Chris also says, what are the best of the best steelbook protector brands? I don't know about brands. I mean, I just order them they're all kind of the same. I order them from Amazon.
Do you want to show, Rob? Do you have one to show?
I don't. Well, just the ones that are on the discs. Let's see if I have one around here. No. Well, here. Yeah, okay. So So
Awesome.
this is my Apollo 13 Steelbook, and so they have the flaps that come off and they're
Yeah,
clear,
great.
and they're great. I mean, they're really
Yeah.
great to protect the. They come flat, and you just have to fold them,
Yeah.
and they're
It's a
scored.
little bit work involved.
Yeah, not much, but they if you've got the Steelbooks, they protect them nicely, because Steelbooks. I mean, as far as a
that's
collector's medium go, they're terrible. They
Yeah,
scratch and they
exactly right.
dent, and if you slide them in your collection, they just get all scratched up. So I mean, theoretically, I suppose I would put every one of my discs in this, but then who cares? It's like whatever. There's just so much. But Jedi Chris, I don't even know which brand. I just order them. They're all kind of the same. Tom Jr. Jacks.
You can find them on Amazon.
Yeah, and they're cheap. They're not expensive. But if you're going to invest in Steelbooks, it's also, they look really cool on the shelf in those containers because they're given an extra glossy sheen. Tom Jr. Jackson says, Wong Kar where? What about Wong Kar when? Wow, okay.
Oh, okay.
All right, then. What can I say about that? Stubble McShave says, I've been listening to the Trexperts episode on the top 101 sci-fi movies. I found it funny that you guys placed a Bond movie on the list. Yeah, Moonraker. Come on now. So what Stubble is referring to, the Inglorious Trexperts, for the last few years, we've been doing year-end shows, the best of various things, and we did the 101 best science fiction movies of all time. I have a few objections to it, the list in general. I'm on it. I'm one of the four commentators, and I think that it's a 6-part episode. We haven't even recorded the last episode yet, which we're recording tonight, which has the top 10. But they're fun to do, and I highly encourage all of you to tune in and listen wherever your podcasts are available, because it's a lot of fun. So, Stubble, I'm glad you're listening in. See if you believe in the same things that we believe in. You never know. Maybe you don't. I don't know. So, I have a few letters. They're very quick letters.
Okay.
This first one comes from Mark Erickson. Hi, Rob.
Okay.
Do you think, this is a good question, actually. Do you think the human eyeball, coupled with the human brain, can perceive resolutions in the theater and home entertainment settings that are greater than 4K? Based on your answer, what do you believe might be the implications for the future of physical media? Happy holidays and a ridiculously prosperous new year to you.
Well,
Mark,
question for Europe.
well, to be honest, our human perception has a ceiling, and it's not much beyond 4K. So now here's the thing.
And an actual ceiling.
Yeah, and in terms of look, I'm sure it is my belief that 4K will be the last physical media format. Because the thing with physical media is it's not just the software, but then you also have the hardware that you have to get. You have to have 4K players and 4K TVs. Now, the thing is, I'm sure they're going to want to make 8K or 12K or whatever just to get everybody to buy new televisions. Now, in terms of data and in terms of, I'm sure there's a lot of reasons to expand the resolution of things. And I'm sure there are military applications or satellite and space exploration applications. I mean, I don't really know off the top of my head. But in terms of movies, I don't think we're going to be seeing anything going beyond. I mean, they'll try and sell us on it, but even having 4K, 4K is great, but unless you have UHD or Dolby Vision or things like that, where you can add to the depth of the color, and we're at the top of what we're able to perceive. I do think that we'll have resolutions that'll increasingly grow for other applications, but in terms of watching movies, I'm sure in terms of gaming, more resolution can be effective, but can we see it? Not much, not really. I'm sure that there's going to be ways of, eventually they'll be probably being able to hypnotize us or get information into our optical cortex, whatever you want to call it, higher resolutions will be more useful. Like if you were ever trying to take a job at the Parallax Corporation that you would see in the Parallax View, maybe that would be something, but I don't think so. I don't think we're going to see it. Omar94 sends in a quick one. Hi, Rob, and Guten Abend, Dieter. This will be a quick letter. I just wanted to say congratulations for pulling off a year of Let's Get Physical Media. This is the last show of this year, since the next episode will be in the new year, so we will all see you then.
Exactly.
That's true.
I have 2 letters too, Rob. Or do you have a letter
No, I
left?
don't have any more. That was just those quick ones.
I have 2 letters that you sent me, and let's get to them. And let's just stay with Omar, okay?
All right.
Again. Omar94. Hi, Rob, and guten Abend, Dieter. In terms of physical media collection, this is something I'm sure you would both love to show us all if you have it. Another movie anniversary is upon us. December 19th, 2021 marks the 20-year anniversary of Peter Jackson's movie Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring, which came out on December 19, 2001. The movie skyrocketed Peter Jackson into becoming into the big name he is now, as everything he did beforehand was lesser known. It was a critical and commercial success, becoming the second highest grossing film of 2001, behind Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, or Sorcerer's Stone as it is known in some countries. It also became a part of pop culture, with the scene of Ian McKellen as Gandalf yelling, "You shall not pass." It was nominated for 13 Oscars best.
You have fallen out of sync.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why.
Sorry?
It's just like you've become. I'm now watching a German film.
That shouldn't happen. But
How did that happen? How did you
technical-
fall out of sync?
I didn't do anything, Rob. I didn't do anything.
Wow,
For me,
hang on
it looks
1 second.
fine.
Wait. Try it now.
Test 1 2.
Nope,
1 2.
you're still out of
Hey,
sync. You're still he's out of sync, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, kind souls, gentle beings, everyone. How that happens, I don't know. You're still out of sync.
I hope it will catch up.
Now it did.
Or I would.
It caught up.
Okay, it got up. Okay. Omar was listing the 13 Oscars: Best Picture, Best Director, Best Adapted Screenplay, Best Supporting Actor, Best Art Direction, Best Visual Effects, Best Cinematography, Best Makeup, Best Original Score, Best Costume Design, Best Film Editing, Best Original Score, and Best Sound. It won 4 of those awards: Best Visual Effects, Best Original Score, Best Cinematography, and Best Makeup. In 2021, the film was selected for preservation in the United States National Film Registry by the Library of Congress for being culturally, historically, and aesthetically significant. I know Rob has a special connection to Lord of the Rings because he worked on the movie. You must both show us your copy of the film from your physical media collection. Thanks, live long and prosper, Omar. So, Rob, perhaps in the future we will have to
I can show.
get together.
How many
that we
copies?
really,
I mean, I've had so many copies of that movie.
DVD, Blu-ray stuffs. That would be some
And
copies to
4K.
show.
Yeah, no.
Considering with the 4K too, okay. So this was from Omar, but perhaps we could do that at
I also want to point out that I did a great stream on Nerdrotic's channel on the 19th with people like the Critical Drinker and Mahler and Just Some Guy, and we talked about our great love of those films. And I promise you, it's a love fest. It was a very positive stream.
Okay, then we have our viewer Brian Knight. Just a quick one here that you sent me. Robert and Dieter, don't forget to mention the limited edition of the Sylvia Crystal 1970s collection being offered by Cult Epics. 4 classic Crystal movies with plenty of special features: Playing with Fire, Pastoral 1943, Mysteries, and Julia. Just a quick recommendation from Brian. And he did send in another letter too. Rob, if you want to see Brenda Vaccaro at her best, check out the movie Water with Michael Kane, Brian Connolly, Dick Shawn, and Fred Quinn. I have mentioned this black comedy in the past, but failed to mention her performance. She plays the wife of Michael Kane, the ambassador of Cascara. Brenda was a dancer for the Central American dance group. She gave Prince Charles a lap dance, and soon after Michael Caine was sent to Cascara. Her Spanish accent is outrageous, and all she wants to do is get off the island and to England, hoping to get front row seats at Wimbledon for the next royal wedding. She ends up with Sir Malcolm, the British minister, who once sold the island for a nuclear waste dump and forced the islanders to move to another British Caribbean island so they can work as maids and hotel clerks in the hotels. That came from Brian as a little recommendation. And I have one short one left from Daniel Brielmeier. He says, "Hi, Rob. Just to make this a quick one, any word on a 4K release of Andrew Dominic's The Assassination of Jesse James and by the coward Robert Ford? Such a vastly underrated film that deserves a 4K UHD release. Maybe after his Marilyn Monroe biopic, Blonde, starring Ana de Armas, comes out and does well. Perhaps then. I think I have this movie on HD DVD, Rob.
I have the Blu-ray of that. I love the film. I'd love to see that in 4K. That'd be a great 4K release.
Please.
I would love it.
That was the letters, Rob.
Well, good letters. Good letters. This has been another fine show. I think that since it is still the Christmas season, we can let people out.
Enjoy.
Enjoy. So I just want to say, Dieter, it's always this last year has been so much fun streaming with you and buying discs and sharing our love for this stuff with
I was buying perhaps a little too much.
Buying a little too much. I mean, some of your choices are, I think, questionable. And but far be it from me. Far be it from me to judge you. So yeah, no, it's great. And I think I want to thank our audience. They're very loyal, and we have a lot of fun. And I want to thank my moderating staff for being here today. Brian Hepburn is here. I don't know who else is here. Brian is, I think, just see Brian. But everybody...
I only see Brian, too.
It's great. Elizabeth was actually here. She has a blue wrench. Okay. So, And so it's great to have all of you to support the channel. And for those of you who support the channel through memberships and super chats and tips and all that, thank you so very much for that. Appreciated. And other than that, maybe Dieter will get a package from me this year.
This year, still. Right? Only 5
next
days.
year. This year. It could be.
That would have to be an express
package. Yeah, a Christmas miracle. And everybody, one day, people like are going to get their African Kung Fu Nazis. It's going to happen.
And then I can show that fine, the wretched for
absolutely
limited with autographs from the directors.
From the directors, yeah. And
Agent Cody Banks. What am I, Agent?
And I've got so much stuff for you. And so yeah,
don't send it all at once, Rob. Make it smaller. 1 or 2, that they can easily switch through customs.
Yeah. Oh, John Campy just sent me a text. I have to look.
Okay.
Yeah. So all good. But anyway, what can I say? I mean, it's been a great year.
One last little thing. You always say, Rob, where can people find you? And I always say, I'm only on the Burnettwork, but there's a little bit of a change. If anyone wants to follow me on Instagram, I started with the Instagram.
You did?
My username is, thanks to Elizabeth, is DBDeets, D.B. Deets, DEETS.
Wait a minute. Hang on. Run that by me again. What is it?
D.B. Deets. DEETS.
I see it. D.B. Deets.
Exactly. Thanks, Elizabeth.
Wow, you only have 22 followers.
I'm just started, Rob. It's not
let's all of you right now. I'm going to put this in the chat right now. Yeah. Here is Dieter's Instagram right now. It's in the live chat. I expect all of you to give him a
I
follow.
will not post any pictures of Blu-rays. The Venom one was an exception because I won't spoil anything. You will still have to come to watch the show to see what I got. I will not post any Blu-ray pictures.
All right, well, I everybody go follow Dietz. I'm gonna put you on Twitter and say, hey, please go follow Dieter Bastian.
Okay. So that I can finally, Rob, when you say, where can people find you, Rob? I have something to say.
You're on Instagram. Come on, why? We need to get you more followers. Hey, you got 3 followers in the last few seconds.
Okay.
Now you're up to 25 followers, man. Let's get you to 100. Come on, everybody. If you have Instagram right now, go subscribe. Go subscribe to D.B.Dietz right now on Instagram.
Exactly. Thanks, Elizabeth, for the
Dude, you got 28 followers.
Oh.
6 followers in the last seconds. Come on, everyone. Make me proud. Go follow Dietz right now.
Okay. That's from my end.
That's from your end. And you're look at these pictures. You look at a young Dietz. Look at these young pictures of Dietz. Wow, in the USA. Look at that.
Yeah.
When you had hair on the top of your head.
Thanks, Rob. I freshly shaven my stubble McShave for the show.
Well, on that note, I guess this is
Rob, have you finished Wheel of Time?
I have not. Elizabeth has.
Okay.
I have not.
Okay.
I have not. Elizabeth liked it a lot.
Awesome.
So
I think the series is finished now. The season 1.
Season 1 is done. All 8 episodes of season 1 are out.
Awesome.
So
okay.
Yeah.
Have to start with it.
By the way, you have 29 followers now.
Okay.
I mean, I'm just saying, the chat is not letting you down.
Okay. I will put my top 10 and honorable mentions in the comments later.
Bro, 39 followers.
Okay.
We've got you. I'm so our Let's Get Physical Media crew is not letting us down.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
You better start publishing some great content.
Yeah. Or they will be jumping off again.
Yeah, it's true. All right, everyone.
Okay.
Well, I guess a merry Boxing Day to all of you. Can Boxing Day be merry? I don't know. And I wish everyone a fine New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
next time we see you on this show, you'll see me, of course, before then, but the next physical media you're going to get is in the new year.
And that's why Rob and I said we didn't show anything that we got this week. We will save it for next week.
Yeah.
Because there are 2 little bit shortened weekends where not that many stuff is coming out that we have something to show next week.
It's true. You're absolutely right.
Ja.
And on that note,
jede Person, die du triffst, hat eine Geschichte zu erzählen, die du noch zu hören hast. Alles, was du tun musst, ist zuhören.
What he just said was, every person you meet has a story to tell that you have yet to hear, and all you have to do is listen. And with that, I guess we both say, live long and prosper.
Long and prosper.
All right.